what I've seen a lot from my freshman year going forward is people come to college and they feel that
The pressure.
the peer pressure there.
Yeah.
Either they've done it before in the past from high school and they're continuing it, or some people, they're like, you know what, there's that peer pressure. Let me try drinking. Let me try smoking. The fact that you don't do that and you surrounded yourself with friends that don't pressure you any more than you need to, how I guess, first of all, how are you able to do that? And for those listening that maybe don't drink and don't smoke, that are heading in their freshman year or a new community, and they're like, I want to find friends that get me and that won't pressure me.
So to kind of like answer like how I kind of like found them and how I navigate my friendship with them. Like, again, like people who smoke, drink, party, all that stuff, in any college town, they're there. Number one, if you're gonna be friends with these people, again, you got to understand that, like, yeah, this is a big part of like what they do recreationally on the weekends, and
Right.
you know, you got to use your judgment, right, to know, okay, like, is this a person that goes overboard with it on the weekends, right? Is this dipping into the week, dipping so much into the week that they don't even function at school? Okay, those are not people you need to surround yourself with, right? I'm friends with people where this is stuff they do on the weekend, right? Like we're seniors now, like you've learned your limit, right? And even when I initially came here, I was around people again that knew I'm not having more than like X amount of drinks, or you know, I'm gonna be calm tonight and just kind of relax.
Right.
And for like a lot of young people, like again, like discernment, like almost any other like soft skill is a skill, right? So at 18, right, number one, your frontal lobe is nowhere near as developed as it can be.
Right.
So you're still balancing, like, is this a good decision? Is this a bad decision? You're operating off of extremes far more than like your older peers would, and you're not able to understand, you know, what a good choice from a bad choice to the best choice for you is, right? What the best choice for another person is, because a lot of these things come in conflict with each other. If you're like me and you're coming in, you're like, you know, I don't really drink, I don't really smoke. I'd say, like, again, like with most things in life, you want to be great at just anything you do, right? Let's say you want to be a good piano player. You got to surround yourself around people who encourage great habits, right? And if you view not drinking and not smoking as a great habit, like, you know, you do, or I do, and like a lot of other people do, that starts with surround yourself around what you are, right? If you have good habits and you're constantly encouraging people to do right, find people who do the same thing. And it's not going to be a problem when you, even if you do have those friends that do drink and smoke. If anything, they're going to say, when did you start drinking and smoking, bro? If anything, bro, you need to chill. It might not even, you probably don't even need to have that, right? Because there's been times where like I'll be out and like somebody passes me like a drink. And I do this like as a joke. Like if you've hung out with me, you know I do this where it's like I take the drink and I'm like, and they're like, they take it back. They're like, bro, you don't even drink, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, you think you're funny, bro? And it's like, it happens like now every like blue moon. Cause like, you know, it's like
make that face that.
Yeah. It's like my little like thing now. Right. So
I got you.
You know, but yeah, like it's cool that they recognize that and they just encourage me to be more of who I am. Cause again, especially when you're 18, and even now, you know, at our age, right? It's like we're not totally who we are yet, right? We're not totally set in who we want to be, who we know we can be, who we want to be, all these things. And at 18, you just got to surround yourself around people like that will remind you, like, hey, bro, like, you're not that, right? Don't go off the deep end. You're not that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. That's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Black excellence. When you hear that word, what comes to mind?
Black excellence to me, I keep saying this, but it is community, and it is your community reminding you what it is you need to do and you need to be. You know, for me, black excellence is that I look at my mom, and you know, she came here in the 90s, you know, with my family, but there wasn't a lot of support. Comes to Seattle, same thing, not a lot of support. You know, she has me, a baby. She has to kind of figure this out. And even when I'm saying this again, like, I don't want to conflate, maybe I'm not saying this, I'm not articulating this well, but I don't want Black struggle to kind of like overshadow like excellence, in the sense that, like, yes, like we as a people have gone through a lot of things, and we've come up and risen up.
Right.
But that's not the entire story.
Right.
That's not the entirety of my mom's story.
Yeah.
Right? This was a lady that was going to be a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Even if I didn't exist, she'd be a lawyer. She'd be a lawyer here. Things changed, and she raised me, and she's doing great things now. Yeah, that's Black excellence. But at the same time, like, I want to be able to then provide, whether it be for my nieces and my nephews, and whenever my brother has kids, and my niece, my sister just had a daughter recently. Like, Black excellence for me is making sure they don't have to go through what my mom went through, right, or what my aunts went through,
Right.
or what everyone else went through. It's
Yeah.
ending toxic cycles, bad cycles.
Sure.
Right? It's constant evolution. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
Right? It's an evolution from what was before.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is some wisdom you just dropped here. I mean, the first part that you said, and I completely agree with this, because I do feel like when we hear black excellence, to me is similar to that. But you were saying pretty much the celebratory aspect. That phase is not there. It's always just the struggle phase, which is important, but there's no celebratory of Black excellence, which is part of the Black culture and what we bring, and the food and the community and everything else, as does other communities.
Yeah.
But I do think we can celebrate more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There is this book called Black Ivy. The name of the author escapes me, unfortunately, but it's basically this book, kind of like a coffee table book, I believe, about essentially like how Black style has evolved in America, and how you can even kind of see traces of what the kind of like genre of like how people dress of Black Ivy in today.
Yeah.
And it's these photos of, all these like great musicians, these great artists, these talented Black people, even, politicians, freedom fighters, etc. And I look at that, I'm like, yeah, that's Black excellence, man. Like, to kind of like create this thing, this style of fashion, and it's so well represented in all these different cultures and subcultures, and how it has, to some degree, a uniform meaning. But if you were to ask, you ask Muhammad Ali, like, what's this style for you?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot different than like Miles Davis, which is like one of the people I look up to in terms of like how he approaches like working hard and working on your craft, right? Like, they approach the same thing completely different, and that's great. We create so much.
Right. What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.